Hey all, it's finally here! The Boss Rush update has dropped for PC and hopefully very soon for the Xbox. So let's get into what changed. So first let's talk about the Boss Rush dungeon itself. The Boss Rush dungeon is a 25-floor dungeon that increases in difficulty as you go down. The dungeon will close to any new players after 30 seconds, and then resets on completion, on leaving the dungeon, or the death of all of the players inside. Each floor has its own set of bosses that can range from one boss to multiple bosses and multiple regular mobs. You can actually capture the bosses from the dungeon, and pretty much every boss in the game can be found in it. Only the bosses in the room need to be killed to open the door. It's not required to actually kill the secondary mobs. Once that door opens, you'll see the new purple chest, which has a blank enchantment scroll inside of it. As you get further into the dungeon, those blank scrolls go up in rank. And the higher the rank is on those blank scrolls, the better the chance of getting higher ranked enchants. In the same room as the purple chest, you'll also see a green portal. This portal will take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, and the green portal back at the beginning will take you back to the last floor that you completed, as long as the dungeon hasn't reset. Once you've completed all 25 floors, there is the typical boss end room with 4 silver chests and a gold chest. When the dungeon resets, all the chests, including the purple ones, also reset with the dungeon. However, the shield in the end room only appears the first time, so you will only get one slate of growth. The Boss Rush dungeon itself can only be found on the new small, ominous islands that can be found around the map. If your map is full, you might have to make some recreation buttons and delete some maps to make some room. And now we have the Enchantment Table. The blank enchantment scrolls that you get from the Boss Rush dungeon must be used to create the enchantment scroll with the enchant on it. Rank 1 scrolls give common enchants, rank 2 gives common and uncommon, rank 3 gives just uncommon, and rank 4 gives uncommon and rare, rank 5 just gives rare, 6 gives rare and epic, and 7 also gives rare and epic. And then 8, 9, 10, and 11 just give rare enchants. 12 gives rare and legendary enchants. And 13 and 14 give just legendary enchants. And I know the images flashed up on the screen fairly quickly. You can always pause the video if you want to, or you can go on to our Discord. I've actually got the images with all of the enchants for all of the ranks of scrolls posted in there. To use the enchantment table, you need to put your weapon, shield, or offhand in it that you want to modify. Then you put a used scroll in one of the 4 slots below it where you want to modify it. If you leave a slot blank, it'll keep the enchant that's currently on there, and putting a scroll will replace that enchant in the slot. According to the patch notes, even though right now you can only apply enchantments to the weapons and shields, they are planning to add more variety to it in future updates. So hopefully we'll be able to do our armor and everything else here soon. Next, let's talk about the automation pieces. There are 4 new automation pieces in this update. We have the distributor that evenly splits items that go through it. It doesn't matter what items come through, just the first one goes straight, the second one goes to the side, and so on and so forth. It'll just split them evenly. Next we have the 3-way distributor, which evenly splits it 3 ways. Works the same way as the distributor, but it evenly splits it 3 ways. Both the distributor and the 3-way distributor have no actual inputs, and there's currently no way to actually modify what goes where. Next we've got the Rerelaying Container. This is actually a pretty cool item. The Rerelaying Container works very similar to the Multi-Sling in that it distributes one item every 5 to 300 seconds depending on what you put it at. Unlike the Multi-Sling, however, it doesn't actually use items, it just relays it on down the line just at a slower pace. This will be especially great for Xbox automations, or people having trouble with lag or too many items or losing items. And last we have the 3-way sorting machine, something that I think a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. The 3-way sorting machine has 3 outputs. You've got the left and right outputs, and those have 3 slots that you can actually set to determine what goes in those directions or what don't go in those directions. The settings work similar to the regular sorting machine. If you put the same items in both the left and right, it does seem that the left side is prioritized, so that item will just always go to the left. One other thing that they changed with automation is now droppers and absorbers can be used on the containers and large containers. The racing part of the update gives us a ton of new road pieces that allow you to make a highly customizable racetrack, as well as the 3 buggies that are blue, yellow, and red. The buggies can be boosted by dashboards, but it does very little at full speed, and like most other vehicles in the game, they do take damage in the water. Another thing that a lot of people have been waiting for is the ability to paint walls. The spray paint that can be crafted in the blacksmith comes in 16 different colors. The only thing that can be painted at this time are the items you see here, which are the canvas walls, doors, windows, slopes, floors, and cubes. They've also added 2 new throwing weapons, the flash grenade and the banana peel trap. They've also added a huge set of new furniture and building items, all centered around the Japanese theme, and they are quite beautiful, and I've already had a ton of fun building with them. 3 new seeds have been added to the game: the mushroom, poisonous mushroom, and detoxifying mushroom. The mushroom bed can be found by picking mushrooms, and the poisonous mushroom bed can be found by picking the poisonous mushrooms. The detoxifying mushrooms, however, can only be found in the abandoned mines by breaking the mushrooms that are in there. All 3 of these can be used in the pots and act just like herbs. They've added a ton of new captures to the game, including most of the bosses and elite monsters. They have also added quite a few new pets, as you can see in these images, and you can access this list at any time by going into your pet management machine. There are also new livestock farm items, including the lizard gunner, who gives gunpowder every second, so it looks like the demand for poop farms is going down. There are also a few functional changes that they have done to the game that are pretty important. You can actually now place building items while latched onto a wall. This will definitely help with a lot of the larger builds and building in awkward locations. In a controversial move, they've changed the enchant displays from words to these new icons. They've also added a new screen mode to the game, which is the borderless windowed mode. You can access this in your graphics settings, and for people with frame rate issues, sometimes borderless windowed mode in games actually helps with some of those lag issues. So it's definitely worth trying out. Also, due to the changes in how Anubis is counted, they did reset his count on this update, so you will find that he'll be back to level 1. Now, instead of being linked to the player, Anubis' count is linked to the map. Also, the item displays in the game now go lower and higher. The current item frames that you have shouldn't be affected at all, so it should be fine, but now it's possible to actually put things flat on the ground without messing around with them or having to put them under things. They also changed the icon display for the captures, so now it actually displays the monster that's inside the prism. And that's pretty much all there is to this new Boss Rush update. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to join us in our Discord in the link below, or feel free to leave a comment on the video as I do answer those as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe, and have a great day.